Are we live? Hold on just a second. Let me check. Hold on a second, guys. If you're there. Yes, we are live. Hello, everybody. My name is MJ Edwards here, and welcome to the Ramley. So we've got a little bit of stuff to talk about. So let's dig on in here. Ram Stafford is one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. There is no doubt that Los Angeles Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. However, Jarrett Bailey of the Sporting News ranked Stafford as one of the best 30 quarterbacks in the National Football League history. Next, two Colts quarterbacks make ranking of top 25 players in NFL history. Two former Indianapolis Colts quarterbacks who make a recent list that ranked the top 25 players in NFL history. Johnny Unitas and Peyton Manning. Diardo's ranking was 13, while Manning was number 6. Next, Green Bay Packers poised to move on from 2023 NFL draft pick this season. Back in 2023, the Green Bay Packers made a decision that altered the course of the franchise. Instead of running it back again with four-time NFL MVP NFL MVP Aaron Rodgers and their aging roster, the team decided to trade him to the New York Jets and hand the keys of the offense over to Jordan Love. Next, DK Metcalf deal fails as Harbaugh eyes Rams star. This spring, the Chargers aggressively pursued DK Metcalf. Steven Bezig of Sports Illustrated flagged them as a top contender from the jump, highlighting Jim Harbaugh's history of aggressively going after wide receivers like Metcalf. The Chargers looked primed to land their receiver. Multiple reports suggested LA was Metcalf's preferred trade destination. Seattle, however, stood firm on a high asking price, and Pittsburgh swooped in. On March 13th, the Seattle Seahawks shook the league, sending Metcalf to the Steelers in exchange for a 2025 second-round pick, number 52, plus a 2025 7th-round swap they came the twist. Next, former Washington football quarterback begins coaching career at Alabama. Dylan Morris has reunited with Kalen DeBoer. Next, former scout expects repeat performance from Rams head coach Sean McVay. Los Angeles Rams head coach Sean McVay has won a Super Bowl, been to another, and he also won Coach of the Year in his career. As the Rams begin what they hope is a Super Bowl run in 2025, McVay could repeat his past exploits as well. Former NFL player and scout Bucky Brooks picked McVay as his long shot selection for Coach of the Year. Next, iconic college football coach dead at 93 years old. Bill Tate. Next, ICYMI this week on Buffalo Rumblings. I don't know what that is, but we'll skip that. NFL rankings shine light on underrated Browns group. The Cleveland Browns linebacker corps finds itself in an encouraging position as the 2025 season approaches. Recent analysts from Pro Football Focus placed the unit at number 12 among all 32 teams, suggesting a group with genuine potential despite ongoing roster challenges. Next, one key Browns player set to bounce back from injury. Which is Mike Hall Jr. Next, will the Denver Broncos get a new stadium or will they get a renovation? What are your predictions, guys? Comment down below. Next, Browns and Bengals stadium deals compared side by side. Bill Sean McDermott ranked surprisingly low among NFL head coaches again. Sean McDermott has led the Buffalo Bills to 5 consecutive AFC East division titles in the 2020s, but some believe he may be holding the team back from achieving its ultimate goal, winning the Super Bowl. The sentiment continued on Sunday when Walter Football released a YouTube video featuring Charlie Campbell's latest NFL head coach power rankings, in which he had McDermott ranked 12th among the 25 returning head coaches. Next, re-signed Lions wide receiver can't afford to slack off before training camp. Lions wide receiver Tim Patrick can't afford can't afford to slack off before training camp. Next, 5 Packers who absolutely most rebound in 2025. DT Kenny Clark, DE Rashawn Gary, TE Luke Musgrave, wide receiver Donovan Wicks, quarterback Jordan Love. Next, 5 red flags for the 2025 Vikings. Rushing offense, a murderous schedule, injured newcomers, best laid plans at cornerback, and inexperienced quarterback on a Super Bowl roster. Next, Todd Bowles remains true to self after Buccaneers extension. As ask any key source around the NFL today, and they will all say the same thing about Tampa Bay Buccaneers head coach Todd Bowles. You won't find any nicer person to lead your team. Since becoming head coach of the Buccaneers in 2022, Bowles has helped lead the team to 3 straight division titles and a playoff win. Tampa Bay rewarded that consistency this week by announcing it was agreeing to terms with Bowles on a long-term contract extension. Next, next. One question looms large for the Los Angeles Rams. The Los Angeles Rams will be one of the most exciting teams to watch this upcoming season, primarily because of the addition of Davante Adams. Fox Sports noted that Adams will be one of the most significant question marks for the Rams this upcoming season. Next, why DJ Reed is upgrade over Carlton Davis. The Detroit Lions' biggest move of the offseason was to bring in cornerback DJ Reed. On the flip side, they had multiple impact departures headlined by the losses of offensive coordinator Ben Johnson and defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn. As a result, the Lions have had to endure plenty of skeptics who are uncertain whether or not new coordinators John Morton and Kelvin Shepherd can meet the standard that the team has set over the past 2 seasons. Next, Eagles snubbed in latest offensive rankings for 2025. Rodney Dangerfield's famous "I don't get no respect" catchphrase feels like it applies to the Philadelphia Eagles offense when analysts tried to rank players like quarterback Jalen Hurts, who sometimes gets overlooked because of his unconventional way of playing the quarterback position. while on recent ranking of the Eagles' offense is sure to turn fire up some Philly fans ahead of the 2025 season. Next, new premium seating coming to Ohio Stadium, home of the Ohio State Buckeyes in 2026. Let's see here. Seahawks legend Pete Carroll was not Raiders' first choice for new head coach. Pete Carroll's breakup with the Seattle Seahawks in January 2020 of 24 was messy, so messy. In fact, he ended up sitting out the entire 2024 season. He's back in the NFL now through joining the Las Vegas Raiders in back of January. However, it seems that wasn't always in the cards for Las Vegas. Um, Septic. John Septic was the. Wait, no? The Raiders wanted Liam Cohen to be their head coach. There it is. Alright. Next. Tom Brady opens up on role as Raiders minority owner. Tom Brady's influence on the Las Vegas Raiders this offseason has been undeniable. The 7-time Super Bowl champion and undisputed first ballot Hall of Famer is now making an impact in the front office, similar to the one he left on the field when he joined a group of shareholders to gain a minority stake in the Raiders in October. The organization was excited to add someone with Brady's football acumen to their ranks. It was expected once Brady's duties as a broadcaster analyst with Fox were completed for the season, that he would assist the Raiders with some on-field decision. Next, new pedestrian bridge in South Knoxville still in place. Bengals wide receiver Tee Higgins appears at football camp. Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver Tee Higgins recently wowed onlookers at a celebrity basketball game. Higgins then made another non-NFL splash hosting a one-day football camp at Huntington High School. The off-season stop was one of the many for NFL stars around the league hosting football camps during the off-season downtime ahead of training camps. As noted by WSAZ and others, travel delays moved the start of this particular camp hosted by Higgins back just a few hours before the standard football camp process unfolded with the Bengals star at the center. Next. What's next for Poona Ford and the Rams? The Los Angeles Rams brought in Poona Ford from free agency in an attempt to shore up their defensive line and make them less vulnerable against the run. The Philadelphia Eagles and Saquon Barkley were able to have unforgettable moments through the grand game against the Rams in 2024. They're looking to avoid that mistake, and Ford will help with that. If Rams are looking to be serious contenders in the NFC, that road eventually runs through the Eagles. Both of their matchups in 2024 resulted in a loss, and with another game looming in the distance of their 2025 schedule, they're expecting Ford to have a big game for them and plug up any rushing lanes for the Eagles and their running backs. The Rams didn't bring Ford in for some sole purpose of stopping the Eagles, though that must have been one of the biggest factors in doing so. They also brought him in because he's already accustomed to Los Angeles, spending his 2024 campaign with the Los Angeles Chargers. Los Angeles Chargers, and revitalizing his career a bit. Wyatt Miller is a staff writer for the Rams.com, and he's doing newcomer updates on all the players the Rams have brought in the offseason. I covered what he has to say about Coleman Shelton now. It's time to take a look at what's next for Ford. Building chemistry with the rest of the defensive line and continuing to learn the defense. Ford is still learning the defense, but after spending last season with the Chargers, he's more than settled into life in Los Angeles. The former undrafted free agent out of Texas is entering his 8th NFL season and is now a leader in the Rams' young defensive line unit, said Miller. One of the biggest reasons why he wanted undrafted is due to his height being the shortest defensive lineman in the NFL at 5'11". He makes up for this lack of height with an impressive wingspan and a motor that doesn't stop until the whistle is rung. Leader or not, Ford's presence on the defensive line will be masked by other big names like Jared Verse, which will only help his impact and make himself even more of a nuisance to deal with on offense. While he may not put up impressive numbers in his debut with the Rams, he will make a difference in how teams game plan against the Rams and make it so they're not as weak against the run. Next, Bengals flopping first round picks called out in redraft effort. The Cincinnati Bengals aren't getting much out of the first round picks of late. Dax Hill, the first rounder of 2022, has yet to find a home in the secondary. Miles Murphy from 2023 has yet to step up as a pass rusher. Amarius Mims from 2024 at least showed major promise, but he can only reach the lofty upside if he can remain on the field. Such as the Bengals often go dramatically new routes and redraft efforts, the latest example comes from Bleacher Report's Matt Holder, who tabbed Murphy in as the team's worst draft pick of the last few years, and instead has them taking defensive back Brian Branch. Coincidentally, this pick is a replacement for the other bust mentioned above Hill. The Michigan product was drafted so high because he's a defensive back who has safety and cornerback versatility, which is the role Branch has become a Pro Bowler with the Lions. Hindsight is 2020, of course. Branch, the 45th pick in 2023, made the Pro Bowl last year. After putting up 109 total tackles, he's totaled 7 interceptions over 2 seasons with 29 passes defended. The Bengals still have big hopes for Hill now that he's playing cornerback, but safely remains a weak point on the roster, and does the pass rush not named Trey Hendrickson. Next, Rams send the Arizona Cardinals gifts for past help. On January 13th, 2025, for the first time in NFL history, a neutral site was used to host a non-Super Bowl playoff game, as the Los Angeles Rams had to switch venues due to various wildfires that were affecting the greater Los Angeles area. With zero hesitation, the Arizona Cardinals owner Michael Bidwell and the entire Cardinals staff opened up State Farm Stadium and their practice facilities to the Rams, even sending their team plane to Los Angeles to fly out various Rams personnel and their families to Phoenix. As a result of their kindness, both the Rams and the Minnesota Vikings provided members of the Arizona Cardinals staff with personalized game ball and a gift card. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. The Cardinals went above and beyond to accommodate both teams, putting Rams decals throughout the stadium, painting the Rams logo on the field and accommodating several of the team's needs, including allowing the Rams to use visitor locker room, as well as providing Rob Havenstein's critical care to make sure he was ready to play. Our hearts are breaking with what's going on, Cardinals owner Bidwell said before the game via NFL.com. It's what's best for the league. It's what's best for the team, and we have to do everything we can to make sure we have a great game. It's always a good time to do the right thing, Bidwell continued. If we can do something to help, maybe this is the only thing we can do. Let's put our energy into it and try to focus on it and make it a great experience, whether it's the players, their families, or the coaches. And then it's got other information which is not important now. Rams roster weak spots exposed in 2026 NFL mock draft. The Los Angeles Rams made several moves throughout the offseason to have one of the best rosters in all of football. But the fact that they didn't add new young talent at the tackle and corner positions remain a point of contention among fans. That is something which is made clear and evident in Pro Football Network's Joe DeLone's way too early 2026 NFL mock draft with the 10th overall pick from Atlanta. The Rams select Manny Jackson, CB, Alabama. The Los Angeles Rams defense is loaded with promising young playmakers, wrote Deloney. However, they need fresh faces at cornerback to boost their secondary. Manny Jackson has the smooth hips and impactful physicality to be a CB1 in any defense. With the 24th overall pick, the Rams select Isaiah World, OT, Oregon. Isaiah World is enormous, presents at offensive tackle with surprisingly flexibility for his 6'8", 300 plus pound build. The Rams have needed younger options on their offensive line for some time, and World provides them with that option. While it's clear it's way too soon to be looking at who the Rams might draft, it does illustrate the fact that Les Snead and the front office did not make any meaningful additions at the positions Jackson and World play. While it was difficult to foresee Alaric Jackson suffering blood clots again after nearly 3 years without them, Rob Havenstein is clearly on the final leg of his career. The man has been nothing short of a monster for the franchise, but he's had to retire sometime. And the Rams do not have his replacement on the team. It's clear the Rams are not overtly confident in Warren McClendon Jr., not even giving him a shot to win Jackson's job, as they signed both David Quessenberry and DJ Humphries this offseason. As for the cornerback room, while they play great as a cohesive unit, there are massive depth concerns if one player goes down. It's also a fact that teams like to go after a Kilo Witherspoon, which is fine as the Ram system has held up so far. But what if Witherspoon starts to falter? Who steps up? Kobe Durant? Emmanuel Forbes? It's also concerning that the Rams do not have much depth in the safety room. While a general manager can't address every position in the offseason, they're judged on what happens to the positions they were confident in not making additions towards, and how the Rams manage to the exterior of their offensive line and defensive will define their season. Next, can the Rams handle defending a no-huddle offense? I was rewatching some film and came across the Rams Week 17 win over the Arizona Cardinals, a game the Rams clearly should have lost. The Rams' defense, of lack of a better term, was awful to the end of the game. In fact, the entire final sequence of the game was a comedy of errors that saw the Rams have 1st and 10 with 3 minutes and 2 seconds remaining in the game, only needing a first down to win the game, only to see them give the ball to the Cardinals on their own 36-yard line before the 2-minute warning, with the Cardinals burning only one of their timeouts. The Cardinals went no huddle, and the Rams could not handle it. They didn't change from their 11 personnel. They simply went fast that the Rams let the Cardinals take the ball to the Rams' 5-yard line and deflected ball before a deflected ball was intercepted by a Kalo Witherspoon. So how did the Cardinals get the ball downfield so quickly? Long story short, it was Trey McBride and the insider run. The Rams did not hit McBride at the line of scrimmage, once letting him run out routes over and over again. When he didn't, Marvin Harris Jr. did, and that led to 3 completions on our routes. The Rams also overlooked Murray's right side with defensive linemen to force him left, but the Cardinals countered by running the football right into the space those linemen vacated. On top of that, the Rams were caught out of position repeatedly, only catching up when Cam Kitchens got hurt. The Cardinals employed three simple strategies that when it was spread up, caught by the Rams off guard. Letting McBride run underneath the receiver the football towards Jared Verse whenever Verse was isolated, and they threw the ball to Witherspoon's side every single time. Except when the Rams were out of position and there was a wide open lane for McBride to run on the other side. That was the Rams' Achilles heel last season. When things were sped up, they couldn't counter and offenses ran rampant. Once again, when the Rams were fully healthy, they lost to teams with multiple avenues of speed, and when the football process is being sped up. The Rams couldn't handle it. How Chris Shula fixes that will be the difference between winning and chasing a championship. There is good news. With a new linebacker room built to cover an open space, Shula can position his defensive backs in different ways. However, success will come down to the Rams' ability to communicate effectively and efficiently, something they've already improved on in OTAs. Next, Deshaun Watson has taken Shadon Sanders under his wing in Browns quarterback room. The Cleveland Browns has a variety of quarterbacks to evaluate this summer as they enter the 2025 season without a clear starter. Veterans Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett kicked off the summer competing against rookie draft picks Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders for the starting job, and will likely continue to do so throughout training camp next month. And all the while, Deshaun Watson will be lingering as the high-priced quarterback recovers from tearing his Achilles tendon twice during last season. However, Watson is reportedly chipping in beyond his recovery duties. Per Browns insider Mary Kay Cabot, Watson has been a cheerleader in Cleveland's quarterback room so far this offseason, and in particular has played a mentor role to this young Sanders as well as Gabriel. Watson famously dubbed a big swing and a miss by Browns owner Jimmy Haslam at the NFL annual meetings in March. He has also taken Sanders under his wing to help him come up the leading curve quickly. And it's been working. Cabot reported for Cleveland.com on Sunday. Sanders' Hall of Fame dad, Dion, publicly supported Watson when some Browns fans cheered while he was down on the field in tears. With his torn Achilles, October 20th against the Bengals, and Watson is only too happy to repay the favor. Per Cabot's sources, Watson has also been an awesome teammate inside the quarterback room and meeting rooms, and has been a great cheerleader for the four quarterbacks vying for the starting job in Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dillon Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders. He's been especially helpful to the rookies and Gabriel Sanders, who are working overtime to remain in the starting mix. Watson will count for $35.9 million against the Browns cap as he enters the fourth season of his 5-year fully guaranteed $230 million deal. The franchise is surely pleased they're getting some value out of the despite Watson being sidelined until he's fully recovered from his Achilles injury, which may take all of the 2025 season. It seems Sanders has a veteran mentor in the locker room as he enters a rookie campaign that will have a lot more eyes on it than a normal fifth round pick would enjoy. Next, last one, I believe it is. Yep, last one. NFL analyst proposes trade sending Falcons DE Kyle Pitts to AFC contender. The Atlanta Falcons made a few necessary changes to their defense, but it may take some time for the new pieces to come together. Veteran defensive tackle Grady Jarrett is in Chicago after spending the first decade of his career in Atlanta. While the Falcons made a few while the Falcons made a few necessary changes to their defense, but it may take some time for the new pieces to come together. Veteran defensive tackle Grady Jarrett is in Chicago after spending the first decade of his career in Atlanta. While the Falcons made a few modest signings in free agency, Jarrett is still a big loss for this defensive line. However, Bleacher Report proposed a solution in a hypothetical trade involving the Indianapolis Colts and the Cincinnati Bengals. The proposed three-team deal would see the Falcons send tight end Kyle Pitts to the Bengals while acquiring all-pro defensive lineman DeForest Buckner from the Colts. Indianapolis would get the Bengals defensive end Trey Hendrickson in return. Indianapolis can ship Buckner to the Atlanta Falcons, who have looked to drastically reset their defensive front this offseason, wrote Bleacher Report's Brent Sobolewski. The 9-year veteran can serve as the anchors to a group that will now feature first rounders Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr. flying off the edges. Buckner's ability to defend the run and collapse the pocket should be highly beneficial for those rookies. Buckner, 31, is a former first-round pick and three-time Pro Bowler. At 6'7", 295 pounds, he's a tough matchup for any offensive lineman. Buckner has racked up 605 tackles, 356 solo, and 67.5 sacks over 9 NFL seasons. The veteran would also give Atlanta more versatility up front. The Falcons would in turn send Pitts to Cincinnati, where he would join an elite offense. The Bengals already have an explosive unit led by Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. Pitts would have a chance to get his career back on track before he enters free agency. Pitts working in the same offense as Chase and Higgins to open up the middle of the field with Burrow throwing to him can be downright deadly, though making the Bengals even more potent, explained Sobieski. While Pitts may benefit from a fresh start, there may not be a long-term fit for him in Cincinnati. The Bengals have a ton of cap space invested in Burrow, Higgins, and Chase, and aren't exactly known for their willingness to pay players even though they have cap space. The Bengals have been eager to pay Hendrickson despite his impressive production. Aside from the long-term uncertainty, you could also argue that Pitts would find himself in the same situation in Cincinnati. He would essentially be playing on the team where he's the third or fourth option. The Falcons have received calls on Pitt's availability, but haven't been willing to part with him just yet. Perhaps second-year quarterback Michael Penix Jr. can bring out the best in the former top 5 pick this season. And that's all we have for you guys. We'll stay on air for a little bit longer. Trying to find see if there's any news we can talk about. Um, let's see here. Former University of Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh named in class act suit against Matt Weiss. Um, Former Indianapolis coach defender, a favorite of Cam Bynum's growing up. A breakout season from a Ravens veteran defensive tackle could be a bonus few saw coming. Why the 2025 Chicago Bears are a team on the rise. Former Bengals star keeps Steelers open as option in free agency. Ohio State football team loses out on big time 5-star recruit. Taking a look at the Rams DL room. Um let's see here. Hmm. Let's see if there's any local news in Cincinnati. Could Broncos RB RJ Harvey win a major individual award in 2025 season? Lone Tree Mayor acknowledges Broncos Stadium talks. Let's see what this is. Hmm. Okay. Nothing important there. 4 Vikings starting jobs up for grabs. Let's see what this is. Punter is 1. CB3 is 3. Number 2 is wide receiver 3. Number 2 is wide receiver 3. Number 1 is CB2. Five reasons Amon-Ra St. Brown could win 2025 NFL MVP. Relentless work ethic, connection with Jared Goff, all-pro status, high-profile matchups, Lions team success, and that's it. Let's see here. Let's see here. What's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers ceiling with Baker Mayfield at quarterback? Haslam Sports Group pays $76 million for future Brown Stadium in Brook Park. Jalen Ramsey will work for wherever. Ten NFL franchises that seem to have the best luck. Let's see. It's a video. So that'll be on my channel. Or I'm at my Twitter page. Let's see here. Um, I think that's everything that we talked about. Alright, guys, that's gonna do it for today's live stream. Thank you for watching this live stream. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified. While you're at it, don't forget to share as well. And we shall see you guys in the next video or live stream. Thank you guys for watching. Bye bye. Thanks for watching. Do, 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 do.
Jackson Neeson's kick is good.
We've all waited for it. All I see are a bunch of people sitting down. I need to see you get on your feet because we've been waiting on our band to take the field for over a year now. So if you would, join me in welcoming the marching machine of the Midwest, George Rockwood Madison, marching band.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education.
This weekend on Saturday and Sunday.
Antidepressants may
change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop coming